Aloha ladies, this is your girl Faye with the Faye and Cedar Show, Mommy Corner Mondays. I hope everyone had a great weekend. So as always, I always say that I was going to initially do a video on something else and then I do something else. This is one of those videos. I actually was going to do something a little bit more lighthearted. But I had a conversation with a soror that it's kind of like a mentor of mine. I had a conversation with her last night, and it was a really short one, but I just brought up a really good point, especially since I took a hiatus from social media for about 20 days, and it just made me reflect. And I talked about this before and probably several videos back, maybe even last year. It might not even been that recent. I'm not sure, but I know I talked about this before, or at least I hinted at it. So anyway, I want to kind of title this video Mental Health Monday. Okay. So I was talking to my soror. She lives in Maryland now. And between her 9 to 5, she also is a lactation consultant. And she was with a client last weekend, she said. And she's not a new mom. Her oldest one is 10 years old, and she just had a baby. So when you talk about a decade span, you are basically starting new, especially because things change as far as like what's good to give babies first foods, and diapers change, food changes, all this stuff changes when you're talking about, I mean, new different products come out for infants and stuff like that. So it definitely is like starting over being a new mom, because her oldest one is 10 years old. And she was asking her some breastfeeding questions, some nursing questions. And my soror was, where did you get, the soror was like, had to pause. I can't remember what she asked her. And plus, I don't really want to go too much into it because, you know, privacy or whatnot. Even though if I don't say her name, I just feel like I was still giving up too much information. Because you never know with the internet here. Anyway, so she asked this question that kind of made her pause. It definitely made me pause, because even though I'm not a lactation consultant, I was very much educated in the art of nursing. And so, like I said, she asked this question to my soror. My soror paused and tilted her head, like, and because she kind of wanted to make sure she was still professional about it. And she goes, "Where did you get that information from?" And then the lady proceeds to say, "Well, in one of my mommy Facebook groups." And then right then and there, we both go, "Oh," like that, right? When she told me that. And I don't mean any harm about, because I talked about, you know, I am in I used to be in a lot of mommy groups that I have left. I was in maybe like 3 or 4 when my daughter was an infant. By the time she was 3, I was maybe in 2. Now I'm only in 1. And I have not posted in that group in over a year. And when I mean posting, I mean like actually go inside of the group, because I don't follow it on my timeline, actually post or like anything or comment. Like, I don't even, it's been so long that I don't even know if they have the same administrators. I don't even know if it's really even active. I don't really know if it's the same people that I went into the group when I was posting at least once, maybe twice a week. And so when she said that, it got me to thinking, like, I'm going to do a really quick video on why you got to be careful, even with your mental health when it comes to social media. Now, of course, it's, you know, mental health has always been important to me. I talk about it all the time, especially, you know, if you know me in real life, you understand why. But I feel, and not saying no one was stressed out back in the day, I'm not saying that, but I feel like mental health, especially as a mother, is so much more important now with the age of the digital age than ever before. Because this, and I'm not even talking about Facebook or Twitter, all that, this stuff is a vortex, and you get information overload. And when you get information overload in the vortex, you can't decide what's real and what's not. And most importantly, I think, as far as, like I said, mother, you start to feel almost inadequate. Maybe even like, you know, because all mothers second guess themselves, but it gets to a point where you may even second guess every little single thing that you do, which is not healthy. I say the mental health portion is, you know, important as far as not getting sucked into the vortex. Let's go back to what I said about inadequacy. And I remember writing a post about this, and a lot of mothers and even people that knew mothers would tag, I made it public, and people tag other mothers in it, and was like, I'm glad you said this, because I said, we got to be honest about this stuff, because I see these pictures, these blogs, these Facebook pages, it doesn't matter, just randomness of this mother. She just had her 4th or 5th child. She's all smiles and the, you know, a professional photo, or even if it's, they're just all laying in the bed, don't got to be professional, and they're all just like hanging out, smiling and stuff. Here you probably only got 1 child, looking, you know, feel like you're looking a hot mess, you know, trying to find time to do, I don't know, 10 minutes of cardio, and you're like, man, I am failing. Or you even see these moms with, they won't tell you that they probably got a husband who, even if he works, he can provide for her to go to the gym all the time. They don't tell you that maybe she's a fitness instructor herself. I don't know. They don't tell you that even, let's say her and the husband work, they have a nanny. So anyway, what I'm saying is, you see these, might even see these pictures of this mom that has maybe 3 kids, and they're all under the age of 5, and she got this nice hot body, and you're like, what the hell? It's one of those, you're getting sucked up into the vortex. You don't know the real story. And even in your mind, you know some of it is photoshopped and, you know, edited. It don't matter. Your mind is already consumed that. You're already tired, you know, so you're going to start to compare. And so, again, it's so timing that she said this, because I just got off my 20-day hiatus, because after my trip, I gained a lot of weight. So I wanted to focus, I wanted to focus on just that. And people were like, why would you don't have to take a hiatus for that. It's, for me, I have to actually not only delete my profile, but take the app off my phone. And kind of just, once, because it's out of sight, out of mind. If it's not on my phone, because I work from home too, so I do have to be on my phone as far as emails and stuff like that. So it becomes a habit where I'm like, oh, I'm done with this email. Let me see what's going on Facebook real quick. I got 5 minutes to spare, and it's not good for you, you know. So anyway, so getting back to that, you got to be, and I said, as far as Facebook, because my soror, she's very anti-moms Facebook groups. I'm not, even though there's a lot of issues with it. You got to find the right one. Like, I used to be in a stay-at-home moms one. I stayed at home for 4 years, but I still got out of that group over a year, because I was like, I can't even relate to some of you stay-at-home moms. You know, I cannot relate. And it's too much. You know, and I feel like that group is why people stereotype stay-at-home moms, because in the back of my mind, I was like, some of y'all women really ain't got nothing to do. It's real obvious you're bored. Like, that's how it got. So I never joined another stay-at-home moms group ever. Even after staying at home 3 more years, I had no interest at all. So anyway, going back to that, like I said, I'm not anti. You just got to figure out what works for you. And you just got to be mindful of the information that you take in. It's like I said, you see this stuff coming down your timeline, even in your groups. You got to be, some things are definitely common sense, something you can easily Google. And there's some things where you're like, I can Google it, but it gives me 10 different things. This person may be right. This person may not be right. And it's one of those things where it's got to, you either use your best judgment, or obviously if it's medical, you go to a darn gun doctor, you know. And I understand that some moms might be like, oh, it's just this rash. It's not harmful for me to post and be like, what do you think this is? Because we all get all these, I still get these random type of rashes. But, for me, if it's like, if it was something that's real serious, I'm going to tell her, go see a doctor. Because even if I think it's that, because it looks like that's something my daughter had, I still might say, hey, that looks like this. My daughter has that. And I might ask her, hey, does she have issues with dyes or whatever? And then I pretty much conclude, you probably should go see a dermatologist or your pediatrician, and maybe they can refer you from there. It's just like little stuff like that. So I say this with that, especially because it sounded like the mother was like, I was in these Facebook groups and I asked this question, and I was just, that's when I was like, she's going to drive herself crazy. It sounds like she's in these Facebook groups trying to find answers, getting frustrated. She's, like I said, her oldest child is 10, so she's trying to do stuff differently. Like, she didn't breastfeed her first child. So she's, definitely nervous and stressed about that because she want to do things what she considers the right way, or what she considers what she wanted to do with her first child, but she could not because at the time she was a single mom. Now she's remarried where she could actually stay at home. She's in a position where she can stay at home with this one. So, she's, it's like she's a brand new mom almost, even though she's really not. And she's doing what new moms and older moms I've seen in these groups do. They get sucked into this thing, what I like to call a vortex. And you got to be selective, take time out. And like I said, you don't have to be drastic as me and do a deletion for 20 days. I have my own other reasons behind it. It wasn't motherhood, it was other stuff. But, take a break from the groups. And don't follow the groups that pops up on your timeline. Like, do it to where you might have to go inside of the group. Don't have it on your timeline. Or hell, if you really want to be drastic, leave the group and then maybe come back. I don't know. But just be selective. And I know some people, you could say you could just scroll. Yeah, you can just scroll, but sometimes you might see something and then you might comment, and then it gets like that. And, we're humans. We get sucked into these things, especially if we see something that may be interesting to us or funny to us, or wow, that is very false, I should correct you. We get into that. There's some people that be like, but if I see a mother and she's really getting some really wrong information, I might comment. But it's one of those things where I have not done it in so long, and I'm very careful with that, so I just don't, for the most part. But just and this is particularly for the new moms, but of course older moms, if you need a refresher, just be mindful of the things you consume on Facebook, because again, it can make you crazy. It can make you unnecessary stress almost, and which isn't good. So just be mindful of that. So I just wanted to just rehash on your mental health and social media and the advice you take up there. When in doubt, go see a professional. So anyway, next week, I'm trying to promise you that I'm going to do something a little bit more lighthearted. I said I definitely want to do a video on preparing a suitcase for a kid that's going overseas for a long trip, and some tips that I'm going to throw on the way. So that's definitely still going to come up. I just need to write that down. I'm not going to ad-lib that one because it's probably going to be a lot, and I'm pretty sure Ceda's probably going to have to split that video into two, because even my quick videos are sometimes too long. All right. Again, this is your girl Faye, with I like to call Mental Health Mondays, Mommy Corner Mondays, mental health. You guys have a great week, and remember what I said. All right. Make it a great one. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.